John Mahama is in the infamous Chapter 11, at least to those who are politically inclined. Chapter 11 is a very interesting element of the book. So she starts by targeting or capturing how, as someone with glaucoma in her family line, she needs medication to, she needs to keep her medication refrigerated. So Doomsor really affected her. And she realized that she was losing a lot of money spending on diesel, purchasing diesel for her generator. So she decided that one day she would just go out on Twitter and then rant. She had no political intention, she was just ranting. And then later on she realized that it blew up into a big issue, and then so many people were reaching out, and then political activists were reaching out. So for example, political activists from the Citizen Ghana movement reached out to her and said that you've created a thing. It's getting people talking. So how do we capitalize on this to put pressure on the government to do something about it? So they organized a protest, a vigil specifically. It was meant to be a vigil. So it blew up, it became a big issue, and then this is where John Mahama comes in. She was told that John Mahama wanted to meet with her. That was it, she was told. She said she wouldn't meet with John Mahama alone. She would meet with John Mahama if her collaborators, the other members of the vigil, organizers, were present. She said that was the condition for the meeting. If they couldn't be present, the meeting would not take place. And I'll just read this portion for you briefly. It says, I also received calls from the office, and this is page 117 for those following at home. I also received calls from the office of President John Dramani Mahama. The caller said the president wanted to meet me, but I told them I would only meet with the president on condition that my fellow organizers of the protest would be part of the meeting. The officials at the presidency insisted that the president wanted to meet me alone. I stood my ground, stating that if the president was not prepared to meet with me and my colleagues, then the meeting was not going to happen. And this ends with it did not happen, and it did not happen. So that was the whole John Mahama issue.
So that President Mahama wanted to meet her alone, or is the people who were organizing the meeting who wanted her to be alone with President Mahama?
The wording says that the callers said the president wanted to meet me. So we don't want to put words in people's mouths.
Well, I know that because, I mean, if you're doing political research and you talk to these politicians, you see there's a big famous line of conversation where one set of people who work for a political leader like a president tell him that this person wants to see you. They tell the person that the president wants to see you. So the two of them meet and they say you wanted to see me. They say, you too, they say you wanted to see me. That happens all the time. So
we should account for that.
We shouldn't swallow this hook, line, and sinker yet.
Course.
It may well be that President Mahama did not know anything about it. That some people thought that, look, let's get Yvonne Nelson to meet the old man and then explain to the old man why they are doing this, blah, blah, blah. So they'll tell the old man, Yvonne Nelson is here, she wants to see you. She's going to explain to you why they are doing the protest. Tell them to calm down. Assure them that you're going to do that and that and that.
Yes.
And then it's okay, let her come in.
Yes.
Then that will be the meeting. But in preparing the meeting, they'll tell her, President Mahama wants to see you when they have probably not told President Mahama anything. So that part I'm not so sure.
To be safe, let's
that
not put words.
One that she said she spoke to him directly. That's correct.
Yeah.
So let's hear that. What was that?
On the issue of Akufo Addo speaking to her, it was still around the whole Doomsor time when the protests really garnered social media attention. And let me just read you. The words are most accurate. It says that it was normal that a problem of that magnitude would give a political advantage to the opposition political parties. So while the government did not take kindly to our protest, the government being the NDC government, the opposition parties were solidly behind us, even though we had made it clear that our agenda was non-partisan. In the days leading up to the protest, I received a call from someone who said I should hold on for the presidential candidate of the opposition New Patriotic Party, NPP, Nana Addo Akufo Addo. In that brief call, he expressed his support for my cause and encouraged me. He said I was a true daughter of the land and that what I was doing was a good thing. He said I should push on and not be discouraged, for the whole Ghana was behind me. So she stressed that her movement was non-partisan, but the then candidate Akufo Addo reached out and basically congratulated her for the efforts that she had made. That was the issue. That was the phone call.
So this is 2016, I guess.
At the time.
Yes, this is an Akufo Addo candidate.
The antecedents before the election.
Okay, so this conversation between Akufo Addo and Yvonne Nelson about encouraging her to continue with the activism occurs when Akufo Addo is opposition leader.
Yes.
He's not yet president.
Not yet.
Okay, so let's move on. Why did then the Akufo Addo then say, come and run elections in my party?
So this is page 122 for those at home. Prior to the 2020 polls, an influential man in the Akufo Addo circles came to see me.
Prior to 2020 polls?
Yes, please.
Okay, that's recent.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
And proposed to sponsor me to contest the Ayawaso West Wogon parliamentary seat on the ticket of the NPP. The NPP had lost its MP for that area, and one of the wives, in quotes, of the late MP won the by-election in 2019. The by-election was characterized by violence and resulted in the formation of a committee of inquiry to investigate it. She was lacing her boots to contest the seat in 2020. When I drew the attention of the emissary to the fact that the party already had a candidate, he said the fact that he was contacting me meant that they had concluded their plans and would do everything within their power to pave the way for me to contest if only I was interested. Basically, that's the gist of it. So
that conversation was not with Akufo Addo?
No, it was an influential man. She doesn't name anybody.
Oh, but then the story has been sort of twisted on social media. So the story is that Akufo Addo was trying to recruit her to run for parliamentary seats. That's the story that's been put out there. But she says some influential person called her. She doesn't mention.
Doesn't name.
Does he link the influential person to Akufo Addo's intents?
Not necessarily. After that, she talks about her personal convictions and whether or not she wants to be with the NPP, whether or not if she takes the NPP ticket, she would have the independence and the free conscience, or whether or not she would just be in a party's pocket. So it's not really linking. From this, it goes into her.
Then the way it's being captured is wrong, because then it says Akufo Addo told her to run for a seat in NPP. He didn't. Akufo Addo called her to encourage her when she did her activism, which was great. Somebody in the NPP said, I want to put you up as a candidate. That happens all the time. Ma Lydia was the candidate at the time. Somebody may not like Ma Lydia. Somebody probably even knows that some important people in NPP don't like Ma Lydia. So he's trying to fill the space, you know.
She was also thinking about her friendship with John DeMello at the time, because
I was going to ask that. Didn't my friend DeMello feature in the book?
He did. And in fact, he foreshadowed. He said he knew some of the things that were already in the book in an interview. So their friendship was a bit strange because of his political affiliation at the time. And she was critical of the government because she felt that the government was doing things causing problems for her. For her, it was her medication that couldn't be stored properly. For other people, it was their businesses being destroyed by doing so. So their friendship was a bit strained. And she felt that taking this ticket would potentially damage the friendship, and perhaps it wasn't worth it.
I don't know about this issue about wanting to contest Ayawaso and the so-called influential person who called her. I'm not so sure about that, because if you look at the political dynamics, no political savvy person in 2020 will think that Yvonne Nelson can upstage Ma Lydia at Ayawaso West Wogon. It's not gonna. There's no chance in hell. There's absolutely no chance in hell. But if you want somebody to beat Ma Lydia at Ayawaso West, it's Yvonne Nelson. No way. Absolutely no chance in hell. I don't see how any real political analyst will think that if I don't want Ma Lydia, Yvonne Nelson is the answer. It's not the answer.
So what she was discussing in the book was how, at that time, she was hot property because of the protest.
Yeah, but that's 2020. Protest is 16.
Yes.
4 years after the protest, she's not as hot as she used to be. Yeah, 4 years after the protest, it's all gone. And this is 2020, in an election where NDC is campaigning, NPP is campaigning. I'm not sure. Ma Lydia was very strong and demonstrated with the election results. Without University of Ghana, and historically, not many NPP candidates can win Ayawaso West Wogon without University of Ghana. Ma Lydia is the only one who won without University of Ghana with a 4,000 deficit, a gap over DeMello. That's significant. So Ma Lydia is not a political person that you can just wish away.
Like that.
No, she's very powerful, and to all intents and purposes, going to win 2024 in a grand way in the same constituency. She's going to hold that constituency for some time.
I suppose. So
really, because of her activities in, she's had some activities. It's very social. She inherited a farmer's pharmacies, a father's pharmacies. You know what she's doing in Lagos now? She's paying to teach them how to drive. Doing a drive. Yeah, that's Ma Lydia. I mean, she's such a real political elephant that beating her is a problem.
Maybe.
And I mean, for now, the NDC should forget about Ayawaso West Wogon, because Ma Lydia is sitting on it. It's not going to shift. So I'm not sure why in 2020, 3 years ago, somebody would think that Yvonne Nelson can defeat Ma Lydia in the primaries. Oh, no.
I think it
no chance in hell.
It goes to answer the question I asked earlier. How relevant are celebrities to party politics in Ghana?
Well, they could be, depending on the kind of celebrity and his strength. It could be. But Yvonne she's not an opinion generator. She's a great actress. She does her work. She's a a fortified woman and she understands what she wants. But she doesn't stray into generating opinions. So if you have an actor or actress who is generating opinions wildly, then that person can be political. If you have Schwarzenegger, can run for a seat in Kumasi and she can be formidable. I mean, I may not vote for her, you may not vote for her, but she would have formidability if she runs for a seat in Kumasi. Because she's an opinion generator. Yes, so Yvonne is not like that. John Dumelo is an opinion generator. Majid Michel is an opinion generator. Yeah, you can look at that. Abiadachi, you don't know her.
No.
Abiadachi is an opinion generator. I mean, the older people, Dr. Martin Owusu, and they were real opinion makers. David Donto and that kind of people. Yes, they are, even Mame Dokuno.
Okay.
Yes, she's an opinion generator, so she can do. Yvonne is not an opinion generator. She's focused on her work. So really, beyond that, I'm not sure she can do it.